Hey, wait, Joe.
We'll just talk to you later.
Well, is there any way that I could talk with you for a minute?
No, you cannot.
How come?
To get being recorded.
Huh? Is it okay if I record you?
No, sir.
No, you don't work for the public?
Excuse me. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, we're going to go to the city, talk to Cheryl. Joe just came over, the code enforcer. He wanted to enforce some codes on us. So, they haven't been able to tell me any truth. They don't have any answers. They don't know what they're doing. I guess they work for the lawyer. So I'm just going to go over here and try to reason with them. You know, I don't mind doing my share in the community, but I definitely don't want to give up my freedom. So we're going to talk to them. See what we could come up with. How you guys doing? Hello, how are you? Good, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. So, what's the deal here?
Okay, so in order for you to operate a business in the town of Garden City, you have to have a sales tax license.
Okay.
And then you bring your sales tax license here and you can get, are you taking me?
Yes.
Did you ask my permission?
Well, I feel as though it's my
You need to
right.
ask my permission, Dwayne, if you're going to film.
All right, may I film you?
Yes.
Okay,
but
thank
in
you.
the future, please ask my permission
Well,
first.
okay, Cheryl, I do believe it is my right to videotape public officers. I mean, I believe it
You
is.
certainly can, with permission, yes, you can.
I don't
So,
believe that I
okay,
need
so
it.
anyway, in order
But
to
I
operate a
appreciate
business-
you letting me.
Okay, so in order to operate a business in the town of Garden City, you have to have a sales tax license
Okay.
from the state of Colorado. Okay? And then you bring your sales tax. And who is released with the building? Who is that with?
Well, you know, right now, you know, you don't know what we're doing. So I think first of all, you're assuming things that we're actually doing what you're claiming that we're doing.
Okay, what are you doing?
Well, what business is that of yours right now?
Are you renting spaces out for a flea market?
Well, we're thinking about it.
Okay, well, what was reported to me is that you are renting spaces out for a flea market,
Mhm.
and you have a huge sign out in front of the building that says
Right,
flea market,
yeah.
and you have some furniture outside, sitting
Right.
outside, so that tells me
Yeah.
that you're operating a flea market.
Well, my wife and I was talking this morning about what we were going to do. We had plans to do that, but we were trying to figure out how we're going to do the licensing part. Because, as you know, we rescinded our contracts with you. You know, we no longer use our social security card or our capital letter name that was created at our birth, you know. We basically fired you guys, and I think you're aware of that. So, you know, I don't mind. I know we need some government. Okay, I'm not opposed to that. What I am opposed to is giving up my rights.
Okay,
I'm opposed to that.
I understand.
And I believe that when you sign your name to those capital letters on any document, that I'm giving up my rights. And
Well,
I don't
you're-
want to give up my
I
rights. So,
understand that, but in order to operate a business in this town, you're going to have to do, at the very minimum, those two things in order to
Okay.
operate a business. business here.
All right.
And that's by ordinance, and I understand that you don't believe in those ordinances and those laws, but here, that's what it
Right.
is here.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking about that, you know, I do understand, you know, how you guys think, you know, I do understand that. Now, what I don't know is that since I rescinded my contracts with the corporation owned by the international bankers, how I am to operate and conduct myself
I don't know
before.
the answer to that, Dwayne, because in order to operate here, you're
Right.
going to have to do that. And even if I don't stop you now or next week or the
Right,
week after,
right.
the state of Colorado will.
Right.
Because they don't care if you rescinded your contract or fired them or
Yeah.
not. You're not going to sell in the state of Colorado without a Colorado sales tax license.
Now, can you sell things on Craigslist without a sales tax license?
That's not a storefront. And
A
that
storefront.
even right now, there's some lawsuits going on right now that they're trying to get people to charge sales tax and remit it. Some internet companies already are.
Right.
And Craigslist is one of those that's, you know, we even have, you could operate it like a garage sale.
Right.
But we have an ordinance that says you cannot have a garage sale for more than 2
Yeah.
garage sales a year.
Right. Well, first of all, you guys only have jurisdiction and power over the capital letter name.
Dwayne, I'm not going to argue this point. If you're going to have a store in Garden City, you need a sales tax license and you need a business license, okay? If you're going to operate
Okay.
in Garden City.
Okay.
I understand your beliefs, I understand
All right.
that you're entitled to your beliefs, but in order to operate a business here,
Okay.
that's what you're
Okay, will you, yeah, okay, I don't know if we're doing what you're saying that we're doing.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know if
Are you
we're
open to the
claiming
public?
that. What I'm saying is that I am not a citizen that you have jurisdiction over. That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
this is finished. You're not going to operate the flea market there. The flea market is not going to operate, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
When you have a sales tax, when whoever is going to operate the flea market.
All right. Well, Albert does have the business license there
Okay.
still until the end of the month at least. So,
Is
you know,
Albert there?
he's not there right now.
Then, okay, if Albert is not there operating the business, that business license is no longer valid.
You mean if he's not operating the thrift store?
The
Because
family
it's
thrift
still,
store.
it's still there.
The
It's
family-
there. He still has the license there, right?
The family thrift store
Yes.
still has a business license
Right,
and they have a sales tax license.
right.
Is Albert supervising the collection of sales taxes and remitting them to the state?
For his business, yes.
Okay. Then why is there a sign outside that says flea market?
Because we're wanting to open up one.
Okay. And that's the part that's not going to happen.
Okay.
Until the correct
And what
procedures are followed.
Okay, according to your laws and your statutes and your codes that, okay, now I want to ask you a question. Now, I don't think I'm being unreasonable, Cheryl.
Okay.
I want to know in your law, and I've asked you guys plenty of times, where it says that if I rescind my contract with the Social Security card and my the capital letter name that was created at my birth, I want to know if I rescind those contracts, how you think that you could have any power over me. That's all I'm asking.
Okay.
I'm
well,
not unreasonable.
I'm not saying that I have
I
any
mean,
power.
you know that I've been
Let
asked.
me talk, please.
Okay.
I'm not saying I have any power over you. What
Right.
I am saying is, if you want to operate a business in the town of Garden City, okay,
Right.
you have to have a sales tax
Okay.
license and you have to have a business
Okay,
license.
then
Because that building is within our boundaries.
Okay. And I've
and
thought
it's
of that.
our commercial zone.
I've thought of that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, and I understand that. Okay,
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out how I can operate in the new status that I have claimed. And you know, because even Don has that declaration in his file.
I understand.
And you know, I'm not, Cheryl, you know I've came in here as a friend. I've came in here as a friend, as a gentleman, and I've tried very hard to find the truth, and I have tried very hard to reason. And I even asked Joe, right? And I've even asked Joe when he was over there if he could sit down and we could reason together. But he chose not to do that. Now, that's all I'm asking for is just some reasonable human to human, interaction. I'm not your enemy.
You hear what I have to say though. I'm
Well-
telling you that every business owner in town has to follow these ordinances, our laws, which you don't agree with. They're our ordinances for Garden City. They have been passed by the people. They are what stands here. Every business owner in town has to follow them if they want to operate a business, and it's their choice.
Okay.
It is your choice. You do
Then
not
let me,
have to choose.
okay, then this is what I have to ask you.
Okay.
I rescinded my contracts with the United States Corporation, the Garden City, and Weld County, and the state of Colorado. You know that. I've put that on declaration. It's on internet and everything. So I want to know how, according to you're going to have to look somewhere else besides your laws, because what I am doing is I have left the law of the sea and the corporation, which you are, and I have entered the law of the land, which is the Constitution.
But now you're trying to operate within our boundaries that we have jurisdiction over. So you're welcome to your beliefs and your opinions, unless you're trying to do it in one of our commercial buildings.
Well, the thing is that your laws are based under contractual nature, where if I sign my name to the driver's license and the Social Security card, then indeed I would be entering into business with you. But I've rescinded those. I'm no longer in business with you.
But you're trying to operate a business within our boundaries, in our commercial zone.
Okay, well, this is one question I have for you.
Okay.
What binds me to your laws?
Because that commercial building is within our boundaries.
Okay.
And we have jurisdiction over that commercial building. So we have jurisdiction over what happens in that building.
And I was thinking about that because, I was telling my wife, I'm like, well, I have a lot of things going through my mind. This is new to me, and I want to do the right thing. I'm not your enemy. I'm not the enemy. The only people that I'm really an enemy against is someone who's trying to force unlawfully their will upon me. That's my only enemy. And I'm not trying to put you as an enemy status. I'm just trying to reason with you so that we could come to an understanding and have agreement. If indeed the Constitution says that you have a right to come upon me and force your will upon me, then I guess I have to do it. But to my understanding, when our nation was founded, we were sovereign. And that's what John Jay said in 1793, that we were the king.
Dwayne, I understand
And now,
your beliefs
okay, well,
and it's your code. I understand.
Well, just one second. So what you guys did is you formed a corporation that is now contractual, and that's what the capital letter name is for.
But understand, please, that it is a corporation. The town is incorporated. It is a corporation.
Right.
And these are the laws of this corporation. And
Right.
so those are thrown out.
Right.
That's how we have to operate here.
So are you saying that, and I'm just trying to find out, are you saying that as long as I'm here, I'm entering into contract with you?
If you're going to operate a business, you have to have a business license issued by us. You can consider that a contract. But in any city, you are going to have a business license to operate business. That is the way that it is. That's how we regulate.
Okay.
Otherwise, we could have businesses opening up that are doing illegal things, that are not being safe, if there are harm to the safety and welfare of the public. There could be all kinds of things going on. In this jurisdiction, within our boundaries, the ordinances are set to where we regulate the businesses that operate within our boundaries.
Well, I understand your thinking. I'm trying to get us, in the understanding of where I stand with the. I want people to know how the country works.
Are you planning to operate without collecting sales tax?
Well, that was one thing I was wondering what I was going to do. What do I do? I mean, first of all, it's not, you can buy and sell, garage sale stuff all day long without a sales license.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. That's not true.
Well, I mean, I've been doing it for years on Craigslist, and many people do it all the time. People buy stuff and then they sell stuff. I mean, that's the way people have been living because our government has not governed us to where we could have jobs. I mean, there's hardly any work now.
Right.
So, we've switched over, our country has switched over from being a working people to being now we're scavenging like tramps. I mean,
some cities require you to collect sales tax on garage sale.
Right,
This one does not.
Right.
But we also have an ordinance against what is considered a garage sale. An a storefront is not a garage sale. Okay.
Yeah.
And we have limits on how many garage sales you can have per year and how long they can
Right.
have.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So and the fact that the furniture and stuff that's outside and the parking situation.
Well, that's Albert's.
Okay. Well.
So I mean, we're selling his stuff.
Okay, but that's affecting the neighbors and they're complaining. So you need to get that stuff inside. If you have 1 or 2 items sitting out there, that's fine, but you can't be taking up parking places, which is scooting your parking down, which is taking up parking that belongs to other neighbors.
Well, we're not doing anything with anybody else's parking.
Well, we already have a complaint registered.
Yeah,
So-
we don't. We are in front of the store there.
Okay.
We're not in other people's parking
Well,
spots.
something's happening to where some parking situation.
Yeah, there is no violation of any parking spots outside of what's in the front of the store.
And are the employees parking in front of the store?
No.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I don't know where that's coming from.
All right.
I mean, we're doing the same thing that we've been doing. The thrift store's been doing the same thing it's been doing since we opened. I mean, now it's like, now what's going on? It seems like now there's, like it was okay before, but now what's going on,
Well, what's going on is you have a huge sign out front that says flea market.
Right.
That was not a flea market there before, okay?
Right.
Then you told 2 board members, or your wife did, or somebody over the
Right.
weekend told 2 board members that this is what you're planning to do.
Yeah.
Open a flea market and
Right.
rent out spaces.
Right,
When you say something out loud, publicly, that's your intention to do that.
right.
Okay?
Yeah, and we were hoping to, but we don't
Okay.
know how we're going to do it.
Right, so
I mean,
that's why I assumed that that's what you're doing, is
Right.
because of those things that were told to me.
Okay.
And then we received a parking
Right.
complaint this morning.
Well, we haven't really actually entered into some kind of business thing yet.
Right.
We're wanting to, and we're trying to get responses, but
Right.
trying to get a feel for what we could do, but we don't know what we could do.
Well, if you're gonna do it here, the sales tax license is a must, and that's through the state, and I know how you feel about
Right.
that. But that has to happen. And the state will be around if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So, they check regularly to make sure that people are operating legally and that they are paying their
Yeah.
sales tax.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be an issue right there.
All right.
And the lease too, you're gonna have to enter into some kind of.
Right,
agreement with
right.
them.
Yeah, and that's what I was, telling my wife. I'm like, well, Quan, he owns this store, and we, whatever we do, we have to communicate that with him. I mean, he has to understand what we're doing, our position, in order for us to
Right.
go in a lawful manner. I mean, it's only, moral. I mean, we can't do nothing in hiding.
That's right.
So I mean, I do understand that, somehow, we have to figure this out,
Okay. Well,
because,
keep me posted as to what you're
oh, I will.
figuring out.
I
okay?
will.
Thank you, Dwayne.
All right. Well, I appreciate your guys' time.
Thank you, sir.
And, what I appreciate is people who like to reason, I mean, there's always an answer, and it can come, there's always an answer, and we can always come to some reasonable conclusion. So,
Okay. Thank
all
you.
right. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.